Martha here, and I think I have something amazing for you right now that I wish I had when I started out. So I'm just coming to the end of the year of doing my accounts. And if you have the same feeling about accounts as I do, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. So finally, I'm putting systems in place with my accounts because I have to say it is the one part of my business that I wish um, I wish there's so many when you're creating your business, especially for me, like I was employed for 14 years. I didn't know how to become self-employed. I didn't know how to run a business. It's like learning to drive and you're trying to figure out all the bits and eventually you can drive smoothly, and there's no accidents. But the one thing that I really feel I know there's one thing that a lot of people say, looking back, they say, oh, I wish I grew my email list sooner than later. But one of the big regrets that I have is that I didn't hand my accounts and bookkeeping over sooner to a professional. And I tried to do it for too long myself. Um, and I would prepare my Excel sheet and I'd hand it over to our accountant. So that part was done. But it was in the agony of the preparation and my um, in some parts of my world, I'm very organized, but when it comes to accounts and things I don't like and I don't like spending time on, then the organization wasn't exactly amazing, right? But one of the things that I have done, one of the benefits, I guess, of doing it myself over the years was that one of the things that I did was I used to keep a summary sheet. So when I did my accounts every year, I'd always look back and I'd say, well, what worked, what didn't work. Now, that was great, but one of the things that I'm really, oh, I wish I did this sooner, but anyway, let's confess, is that my expenses were way too big. Um, so, I, in the last, as was last year, I've read the book Profit First, and if you haven't read it, please go and get it. So, Profit First basically says, you know, that a lot of people in business, they have their sales, they extract their expenses, and what's left over is your profit, right? And I have to say that's the way I was working for a long time. I was like running up my expenses. I wasn't really designing um, the take home money in the hand that I wanted to have. And I sometimes I was so busy on like, building technical systems, signing up to new software, discovering different applications of what it did. Sometimes I made decisions without going, is that in the budget? Sometimes I was too excited to sign up for things. And I remember a few years ago, I sat down and I looked at my expenses and they were crazy. Like, I was paying, and some of the things, like I'd signed up for software that I hadn't used and I was paying for it for months. So one of the habits that I kind of challenge myself now, and believe me, look, I've tons of bad habits. I wish I was amazingly perfect at my accounts. I'm so not, and I'm learning now, thanks to the help to Profit First, and thanks to the help of implementing now with a bookkeeper. My accounts and my money management is getting amazingly better. And this is not the stuff I teach. So what I teach is I help people get clarity on their business and I help them translate that into a global online vision, um, and to set up the systems they need to reach more people. So I'm a systems technical person, right? And I love doing clarity and strategy with clients. So what I'm really learning here and now, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a bookkeeper. I'm just telling you what I have learned, and if you get something from it, fantastic. Please go hire a bookkeeper, hire an accountant, and set up your own system. But what I've learned, and I'm going to go through this Excel sheet now, is something that I hope might help you too. Because if I had this piece of knowledge 10 years ago, I'd be so happy. So, what I've done is, so this Excel sheet here has a revenue of 25k. right? So first of all, I wasn't going to include this part up here, but I've decided to include it anyway, just initially. So whatever your business that you're in, whether you're selling products, services, online courses, digital courses, or like coaching services, or like you physical products, in this Excel sheet, and I'm going to figure out a way to get this to you. So I haven't that done yet, but I will do that. So hopefully you'll be able to get. I can give you a copy of this Excel sheet because I think it's good. If you think it's good, I will give it to you. So, um, okay, so basically what I've done here is I've said, okay, let's just say you have a product price €47 and you get 20 clients who want to buy it. And normally what people say is the average conversion rate is 1%. So I would always say start at a 1% conversion rate. And what that means is that you need 2,000 people to look at your sales page to get 20 to buy it. Now, what I say is start with a 1% conversion rate. And as you get to know your own conversion rates, you can change this from 1 to 3 to 5 to 10 to 20, whatever your amazing conversion rate is, right? So always start off at 1 and then get to learn your own conversion rates. So this here is literally just the number of sales multiplied by the conversion rate and multiplied by 100. So this is a formula. So I've got formulas in this Excel sheet. So it's calculating everything for you. So like if I was to reduce this to 10, then you would only need 1,000 leads, 1,000 people looking at it, right? So that'll give you a revenue of €470, right? So what this allows you to do is to play with different price points and to see the impact of raising your prices. Now, I have um, a whole thing that I do with clients around pricing because I believe there's around 13 elements of pricing that you need to consider before you change your price. That is a conversation for another day, right? But this allows you to play and step into different pricing models. So like if we were to put like 10 here, that would make you 9,970, and you'd need 1,000 leads. And what if we were to kind of put maybe like 100 here? That would make you 300,000, but you'd need 10,000 leads, right? So it's just really it's just handy to just see the impact on your, this is total income. Now I would never ever ever actually sorry, my numbers here are incorrect here, right? But I would never ever say to anyone to have this number of products. I would say have three, start off with three services and work your way. You could even just have one. You could deliver like a one-to-one, you could deliver a group, and you could deliver an online course or something like that. But depending on the type of business you have and the number of staff you have, the simpler the business, the better, because then it's easier for you to market that business. So this just allows you to play with, like, just setting your income goal. How many, like if we were to take out all of these, let's say, let's put 0 in there, 0, 0, 0, 0, and let's put that in there. Let's take out this 100. So if you just had a product or service that was 997, if you only got 10 sales, you'll only make 9,000, right? Whereas if you had 10 of 3,000, you would make, put that 0 in there, you would make 30,000. So you can see that by increasing your price that you will make more money. Now, there is the one thing that I say about increasing your price is that it's not just about increasing your price. It's about looking at your audience. Who's your audience? Is this in their price bracket? Do you need to change your audience? So there's so many elements to pricing, and I would love to talk to you about that another day. So moving on to the very exciting part. Oh my God, this is what I love. Okay, so this this part is based on the Profit First book by Michael something or other. I can't remember his surname, but just look up profit first. And what it says is that basically, and I never did this until I read this book, right? I'm not, this is his system and I'm just implementing it, right? Um, so let's just say this is an example that I've put in here, right? So let's just say you want to make 50,000. We can do different examples, right? So my clever little Excel sheet has all of, so these percentages here are called, um, there's an acronym for it. It's called allocations, but I think it's called like, is it TAPS, target allocation percentages. I think that's actually it. So these are your TAPS, your target allocation percentages, right? That's what I'm saying it is anyway. Now, you can come up with these different percentages for your own business, right? Now, the tax one there probably needs to increase. I get some advice on your bookkeeper, depending on the rate that you're at and if you need to pay VAT. I haven't got VAT included in this actually. Okay, so let's play a game. So let's just say you want to earn, we're going to do some crazy figures here. So let's just say you want to earn 50,000. That's sales. Now, let's just say your expenses, if you give yourself 15% for your expenses, that will allow you 8,500. Now, this will really help you examine how much of your sales is going out the door in expenses and possibly unnecessary expenses. And it will also help you make decisions on your business saying, bloody hell, I'm putting this stuff out in expenses that really, you know, are they really necessary for my business? Okay. Then mentoring. Now I've included mentoring in this because I'm a coach and I coach people, and I believe mentoring is one of the most amazing things you can ever do for yourself and your business. And I will always include a budget for mentoring in my own business for myself because I believe you grow faster than you can ever grow on your own, and you make less mistakes. And believe me, these mistakes cost you money. So your mentoring will always pay itself back tenfold. Okay, so um, mentoring. Now I've put in 7.5%. Now, there have been times when I have paid a lot for mentoring and I have probably decreased my other percentages and increased my mentoring percentage just to take a giant leap in my business. So what I'd say to you is that, and what I feel is that mentoring probably should be, 7.5 to 10, 15% of your budget. Now, again, if you do want to go out on a limb and like go for an amazing mentoring package and you really want to move ahead, or maybe you've savings that you want to invest in, that might be something different, right? So I've just put in that, right? So on 50,000, your mentoring is maybe 3,000. You could put it up to 10. But if you put this up to 10, then you need to decrease a percentage somewhere else, okay? And what this allows you to do as well is allows you to see, okay, how much money do I have to spend on different things throughout the year, rather than like, as I have done in different years, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and kind of making decisions without actually making it from looking at your business and saying, can I afford this? And if I can't, how can I make it work? Because sometimes when you do sign up for mentoring and coaching, as soon as you have that mentoring or coaching, you're going to make more money. So they're the things you need to ask yourself, right? So marketing, I put in like 7.5% for marketing. Now, again, if you're doing something in your business and you really want to push your marketing, you can increase that budget, but again, you got to take it out of somewhere else. So that's profit then. So profit, this guy Michael says, assign yourself a profit and put that money into an account somewhere that you can just take it and blow it on like a girls' weekend in New York or something fabulous that you would love to do for yourself, right? So when you make 50,000, you would have at 2%, you'd have €1,000 profit. Then Then we have owner's pay. Now, at the moment, I have this at 35%. Um, what he does say is that when your income is smaller, your owner's pay percentage is normally maybe around 50% or something like that. And as your business gets bigger and bigger, your percentage gets smaller, but obviously the amount of money you take is more because of the amount, right? Now, ideally, you might want your owner's pay at 50%, but that may not allow you to have your mentoring, your marketing. So what I would say is, look up, read this book, see what he recommends. This is what I've put in to allow to have the different elements of the business, right? Now, if you make 50,000 and if your owner's pay is 35%, that will give you 17,500, which will give you 1458 a month, and it'll give you 364 on average into your hand. Now, again, please talk to your bookkeeper or accountant, right? Because, I don't know about your tax or your VAT or anything that you're doing. But this is just a ballpark, and this is really, to be honest, it's to give you an example of how to actually create a system. Do your own percentages. As I said, talk to your bookkeeper, figure out what's the best for you. Um, this is to help you just go, right, okay. So, like, if you're making 50,000 a year, that's 4,166 a month. That's 1,000 a week. So you need to be making 1,000 a week to get a wage of 364 on these allocations. Now, let's play the game and go higher. If you're making 100,000, this means you need to make 8,333 a month, 2,083 a week, and that will give you a wage of 729 a week, right? So it begins to make you realize that, six figure, seven figure incomes, right? Um, you know, it sounds like a lot, but at the end of the day, when you divide it all out, you've got to bring that money in every month, every week to get the income that you want. So let's go a little bit higher. 150,000. So that'll give you, so you need to be making 3,000 a week to get a weekly wage of 1,000. Nice, right? Let's go another bit higher. 200, have I enough zeros? 200, 1, 2, 3, 200,000. 1,500 a week, right? So you can see the game that you can play. And what I want you to realize here is that as I went from employee to creating a self-employed job, you learn about creating money, and I just need to check the time. I'm okay. You learn about creating money, and you learn about literally how to create money, how to earn money. How do you earn money? You have a product or a service that you offer on a regular basis to people. Um, you need to create, and of course, you need to have an audience to make those offers to. You need to grow a list. You need to get yourself out there. You need to get known, and I think what I want, why I'm sharing this, to be honest, is again, I wish someone um had done some of, like, honestly, some of it is basic stuff, right? But it was all stuff that I learned over the years. So, like, when you see that if you want to earn, let's say 75,000, for example, right? If you want to earn 75,000 and you want to get into your hand 546 a week, so if you need to sell 1,562 a week, then it makes you think about your pricing. It makes you think about, okay, so I could have, let's say, for you to sell 1,562 a week, you could either have 1,500, you could have 3 of these, that would do it, right? 3 sales of this, or see, how many of these do you need? 47, da da da. Is it 30? How's my maths? Not bad, Martha. Okay, 35 maybe. So you need maybe 35 sales of 47. So it makes you think about, okay, what's the business model that I want to work with? And if you have come on any of my other calls, we often don't start from the business model. We start from what's your vision, what's your impact, and what's the difference you want to make in the world. What is, um, where do you want to bring this business? So we start there first, and then we come down into the business model and what's the best way to deliver that. And the thing is that you may have seen many business models throughout, you know, people who are working with you, colleagues, peers, and you're looking at them going, God, that's working for them. Why didn't it work for me? And the reason that I've discovered is that the business model that you needs to be designed specifically for you, for your vision, for your impact, and what's aligned to you and the lifestyle that you want to create. And I do this with my clients in my reboot process and in the Global Online Stars program. And it's about really you connecting in with your inner mentor to find out what you want. What do you want? What needs to go through you? There's all these business models there, but it has to be aligned to you and what you want. Okay, so back at the ranch. Okay, so that is this part here. So play with this. It's friggin' amazing, I think. So let's do a lower level one. Let's do maybe like 35,000. Right. So 35,000 will give you at these allocations 255 into your hand every week. Right. So 1,000 a month roughly. Um, so so that's that. Then I want to come down here, and now what I also did here was I just was drawing out kind of like, okay, so if you had these products and these prices, what would be the total sales? So you can play with that and just put in different products, different prices, okay? And then over here, my friends, this part is friggin' amazing because it takes this, whatever the income sale you put in over here, say, so for 35,000, we have expenses at 17%. Is it 17? Hang on. 17. Sorry, I need to change this here. 17% expenses, right? That will give you 5,950. And why is it not? This is meant to update naturally over here. So let me just double check. This is meant to be E18. Hang on 1 wee second. We update that there. Fantastic. So, bam, bam, bam. No, hang on, I have a little mistake here. Sugar. Okay, so this is meant to be E18. E17. Sorry, hang on. It was right, and I messed with it. E17. I did have it at 18%, and I changed it to 15. There we go. Yeah, sorry. It was I was changing my allocations there earlier on. Okay, so this here will show you whatever the expenses is here, right? It basically just calculates it again. So if you have your expenses 5,950, what I have realized is that you really need to come in and examine your expenses, right? So telephone, broadband, these are some, things that everyone has and you have to pay. So this is a ballpark of what I pay. So what I've also done is I've calculated the percent that is of my expenses, right? This might be overkill, but I got carried away. So that's 22%. Then I haven't got the accounting and fees put in, but these are some of the software services that I use. And there possibly might be one or two more I need to add in there. So that comes into 2,300 a year. So that's 38% of my expense budget. Then now you can put in your own ones. Put in whatever you want here. Some of these are just arbitrary that I made up. So you can put in like different things here: your equipment, your rent, your payroll, blah, 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 blah. So to run your office and your staff, okay, so this is not a proper figure, but once you fill in all of that there, it'll give you a percentage, right? And then your vehicle expenses, your insurance, your tax. In Ireland, we have what's called an NCT, which is a test on your car maintenance, and your diesel for the year. And that comes to 2,800, right? So at the moment, these expenses are 9,579. Now these are not basic expenses, but these are the core expenses to run your business. Um, so what this does is it really helps you go, oh shoot, if I am running off a 17% expense percentage of my total sales, and if your expenses are over that, then you need to really tape it down. There's a guy called Dave Ramsey in the States, and he's a financial advisor podcaster. And he says, act your wage. Act your wage. I absolutely love it. Act your wage. So if you don't have the money, don't spend it, right? Now, I do take the exception for the mentorship if you want to come up with it or something like that, because I've done it in the past and it has paid off for me. Um, so, or if you've decided that you want to up your marketing and you're going to take a cut in your wages or you're going to cut something out of your business, but this really helps you do that. I've also included contribution, a 1% contribution, so that from the get go, your business is making a difference and an impact. And by the way, a difference and an impact doesn't have to be money. You can go do talks, you can just go help people, you can do free training online. Contribution doesn't have to be monetary. So that's my amazing Excel sheet. I hope you like it because it is after really helping me make sense of my business and how I'm going to change things, how I'm going to tune things up. So you can play with this, put in whatever income goal you have and you desire. Again, let me say, I'm not a bookkeeper, I'm not an accountant. I've made tons of mistakes in myself in the past with regards to my bookkeeping and accounting, and I'm getting my shit together massively, right? And I'm really putting in systems now for the coming year that I really want to change what I do and how I do it. So that's it for me. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.